Why did Jungkook suddenly decide to settle in America? What is he actually hiding from the public and army? And why did Taehyung, who has remained silent until now, finally speak up with an unusual tone? Is this a sign of a major problem that has long been hidden behind the glittering name of BTS? This news doesn't come from empty rumors or mere fan speculation. In recent weeks, various suspicious signs have emerged one by one, starting from cryptic social media posts, drastic changes in individual activities, to a major decision made by Jungkook out of nowhere, moving to the United States and distancing himself from South Korea. This fact raises one haunting question throughout the ARMY community. What is really going on behind BTS? Jungkook's decision to settle in America is not only surprising but also confusing. As a BTS member known to be deeply attached to his homeland, with family, fellow members, and Korean army who supported them from the beginning, this move feels like a small betrayal, not to others, but to himself. However, behind every big decision, there's always a bigger reason, and this is now slowly being revealed. Media outlets began reporting that Jungkook's move was not simply to pursue an international solo career or expand musically, but more than that, a form of escape from pressure, internal conflict, and most likely, a long-buried tension within BTS. This speculation gained strength when Taehyung, or V, finally appeared in an unexpected interview in which he said words that sounded meaningful and like a warning. Sometimes, what looks perfect on the outside is not always calm on the inside. These words, which immediately went viral on social media and were interpreted as a signal by ARMY, triggered the birth of hundreds of theories, from speculation about division, communication breakdown, pressure from management, to the overwhelming force of the global music industry that forces artists to sacrifice their personal lives for public image. Taehyung didn't mention any names directly, but the context and timing clearly pointed toward Jungkook. No one said it outright, but everyone knew this is no longer just speculation. This is a reality starting to surface. An internal source who wished to remain anonymous revealed that the relationship between some members recently has not been as harmonious as it once was. Jungkook, known to be a perfectionist and hardworking, is said to be under high psychological pressure, especially after the tremendous success of his solo project last year. His popularity in the United States skyrocketed beyond the agency's expectations. But therein lies the problem. That major success placed Jungkook in an uncomfortable position, between loyalty to the group or personal career growth that has now far exceeded national boundaries. ARMY began to wonder, why didn't hybe immediately release an official statement? Why is there no proper explanation about Jungkook's move? Even in his last live broadcast, Jungkook only mentioned wanting to explore more works and feel a new space to grow, without ever touching on BTS or the other members. His tone sounded flat, his smile seemed forced, and his eyes, which used to shine with passion, looked empty. Meanwhile, Taehyung has begun to be more open with the media. In an interview session for a top fashion magazine, he no longer tried to hide his uneasiness. Everyone has their path, but sometimes that path takes us away from the people we love. "I just hope everyone is okay," he said, lowering his head and pausing. That long pause then triggered speculation that V was holding back emotions or even tears. The issue grew more complicated when a senior Korean journalist leaked that Jungkook had actually voiced his discomfort with hybe's internal work patterns several times. On one occasion, he was even said to have said, "If this is no longer about the music, I don't know what I'm fighting for." That sentence has never been confirmed by the agency, but many longtime fans feel the sentence sounds very Jungkook. Undeniably, the K-pop industry is fertile yet harsh ground. Behind the lights, stages, and hysteria, there are mental pressures, long contracts, and unrealistic expectations from both the public and labels. When one member starts showing signs of escaping the system, it's no longer about a solo career, but rebellion against the system that has groomed them. And when that rebellion comes from Jungkook, the golden Magne Center long symbolized as perfection, the impact can be massive. Taehyung's carefully worded yet meaningful statement is seen by many media outlets as a sign that the internal condition of BTS is unstable. Some even claim that major decisions are no longer made collectively, but separately according to each member's preference. Does this mean BTS is going through a transition phase or heading toward an inevitable collapse? Many hope that all of this is just a temporary storm, that after military service ends and the pressure starts to ease, BTS can reunite and continue their journey as a group. But seeing Jungkook's current steps, settling in Los Angeles and preparing big projects there, such hopes seem distant. Especially when Taehyung himself admitted that communication between members is not as intense as before. "I sometimes miss them," Taehyung said in a Korean audio live session. "But our world has changed. Everything changed too fast, and sometimes I feel left behind." That statement immediately caused a stir, especially since no further clarification was given by the agency or other members. Is this a sign of the breaking of BTS's togetherness long celebrated? Or is this just a phase of growth where each individual is searching for their own identity outside the big name of the group? One thing is certain: Jungkook's decision to move to America is not a trivial choice. Behind the smile and still stunning performance lies massive pressure, the burden of expectations, and perhaps wounds that were never publicly shared. And when Taehyung, known for his calm and rare conflict-related talks, finally speaks out, it's not just a statement. It's a signaled, "Army now awaits answers." But in a world full of strategy and secrecy like K-pop, answers don't always come in statements. Sometimes they appear in song lyrics, in body language, or in a painful silence. And in that silence, the big question continues to echo. Does Jungkook's decision mark the beginning of something new, or the end of something we don't want to admit? And perhaps that is the true essence of BTS. They are not bound by the same room or the same city. Their bond was never built solely on physical proximity, but on years of shared dreams, struggles, and victories. What the public sees on screen is only a fraction of their brotherhood. What lies beneath is a connection that doesn't need to be constantly shown to remain real. Jungkook's presence in America, rather than being a cause for alarm, is in fact a strategic move that aligns with BTS's global ambition. As a global artist, his base of operation shifting temporarily is not unusual. Taehyung's emotional moment should not be misinterpreted as signs of conflict, but rather as a reflection of someone who, like all of us, is navigating personal growth amidst change. After tracing various official sources, clarifications from the agency, and direct words from the members, it's confirmed that the entire story and speculations presented earlier lack factual basis and are misleading. In the fast-moving world of the Korean entertainment industry, it's natural for personal decisions to be exaggerated or even twisted for sensational purposes. Jungkook may be spending more time in the United States, but this is not an escape or a sign of internal conflict, rather part of a long-planned strategy by the management team to support his solo projects globally. HYB clearly stated that Jungkook is focusing on international music expansion and collaborations with global artists as part of BTS's long-term post-military vision. There is no indication that this move is triggered by internal issues, pressure, or division within the group. Moreover, the assumption that Taehyung was sending hints or voicing tension with Jungkook is out of context. In the interview often cited, Taehyung was discussing personal growth and the changes that come with age, not member relationships. Phrases like "everything changed too fast" refer to life dynamics after entering their 30s, not BTS's unity. Unfortunately, many of these moments were taken out of context to build a false dramatic narrative regarding claims that member communication has weakened. On the contrary, BTS have shown multiple times that even as they pursue individual paths, their bond, support, and friendship remain strong. In his latest live, Jungkook mentioned Taehyung warmly, even saying, "I can't wait for us all to come back and perform together." Jimin, RM, even Jean consistently show open support for each other, including Jungkook and Taehyung. We must also highlight how media sometimes create illusions. By quoting half sentences, using ambiguous photos and mixing them with unrelated events. A false narrative can feel real. Sadly, this often happens in the entertainment world, especially to global icons like BTS. BTS is not just a music group, but a friendship, a life journey, and a long-term commitment built since youth. They've gone through hardships, bitter moments, and reached peaks together. If they now choose to pursue solo projects or live in different places for a while, it's part of natural growth and healthy professional strategy. AS fans and music lovers, we must be wiser when facing viral news, especially those not confirmed by official sources. ARMY, known for being empathetic and smart, should not fall into baseless speculation that only harms the image of hardworking members. Thus, it is clear that there is no major issue, no internal conflict, and no breakup between Jungkook, Taehyung, or other BTS members. Everything happening now is part of a new chapter they've planned together. Taehyung is not hinting, Jungkook is not running away, and BTS is not disbanding. They are growing, each spreading their wings so they can soar higher again. Together, let's continue supporting them with positivity, accurate information, and wholehearted love, just as they have always given us.